Well, good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Barry from Chaparral Chiropractic, welcoming you to episode 3 of our Inspiring Life Reset 2021, Inspired Movement. So we're going to have some fun today. Um, what I'm going to do, actually, what I'm first going to do is take off this headband, if you don't mind. More on the headband later. But I think we can all agree that with the state of the world over the past year, the rug's kind of been pulled out from under us with respect to our intentions and our plans. Pools and gyms are closed. Um, we can't play team sports. We can't travel. And for the most part, we're stuck at home. So if there's one thing, though, that this past year has taught me, 2020 has taught me, it's that no matter how much I complain and rant, I can only control me. I can't change the external environment. I can't change the outside world, but I can certainly change how I respond to it. And I can only do what I can do. So with that comes openness and learning, discipline, um, creativity, learning, flexibility, trust, forgiveness, and the first with the first lockdown, it was initially quite well received, where we could work from home, no more commute, could stay in my pajamas all day if I want, hang out with the dog all day. But as time went on, the things that we were hearing were, I'm curled up on the couch working from my laptop, and it's causing pain. I'm with my family 24/7. Um, there are endless distractions. And what ended up happening, there was just no end in sight. So with that, it takes a toll on us. We become complacent. Our routines fall apart. It blurs the lines between work time and family time and relaxing time. And that leads to confusion, certainly leads to added stress, uh, anxiety, depression, and downstream effects are poor health. Do you remember in the first talk, Dr. Mark talked about uh, purpose? What is your why? What's your purpose? It talked about creating the best version of you. And sorry, not sorry for getting heavy right off the bat here, but I believe this is foundational. Uh, we have to count our blessings. As I said, we can't control the outside world, so we've had to figure things out on our own for ourselves. And when I look at my own blessings, I think of the Zoom calls like this that I've had with my parents and my sisters who are scattered across the country. So once or twice a month, we get together over Zoom. We laugh, we cry, we reminisce. Our record for one Zoom call was 7 hours that we were talking and laughing, and it was wonderful. Um, Another blessing is that I'm friends on Instagram and on Strava with cousins from Norway who are also into cycling, into skiing, and we watch each other. We keep track of each other's activities. We give each other kudos and thumbs up, and it's been so amazing. Zwift, an online cycling platform where I can virtually ride my bike on my smart trainer with my buddy in Vancouver and a buddy in North Calgary, and we're talking to each other while we're riding. It's like we're riding bikes together. So these are all blessings, creating music playlists for myself, listening to podcasts. I'm meditating more than I have. So these are blessings, thinking outside the box, that have come from this past year's troubles. So it leads me to a quote by a mentor of mine, Mark Sisson. I talked about him last talk on nutrition. And what he said is, I can't make a case for being less healthy or less fit, right? So despite everything that's going on, I can't make a case for not being healthy. So this struck me, and it's going to serve as a backdrop for today's talk. So yeah, there we are. This is some pretty cool motivation right here. Come on, baby! Pretty impressive. Okay, so when we talk about why, creating your purpose, creating some motivation, creating your best version of you, I always think about people like this. So it humbles me, and it makes me look in my own mirror and say, you know what? I got to get off my butt and do something. So anyway, what I want to do, I'm going to give you an overview of what we're going to talk about. First of all, I want to touch on posture. We're chiropractors after all, so we have to address this. We're going to introduce the topic of spinal hygiene, what it means to take care of our spine like we take care of our teeth. And finally, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to introduce you to some exercises, some concepts, some ideas, some things that hopefully are going to get you motivated and get you out and moving. Okay, so here we go. All right, posture. So this is our current reality. And just so you know, this is how Dr. Mark and I see the world. This is how we look at you all. We see everybody as a bunch of spines doing things they shouldn't be doing, and the effects of it. So it's, I'm joking, but this is the foundation, right? This is what we see. This is what our world is. And honestly, we see it not just in ourselves and what we do on a day-to-day basis, but we see it in kids as well. And I have 3 boys. They're on phones 23 hours a day, and it pains me to watch, but it also motivates me to always instill change and understand that we have to start young. And honestly, this there's a saying in chiropractic that says, "As the twig is bent, so grows the tree." So it's really why we see so many kids here in our clinic, because we really want to start young, create the right habits and movement patterns and postures so that we grow into a healthy spine as opposed to trying to fix it years and decades later. Um, so when we talk about posture, uh, you know, I'm not going to get too detailed here, but if you look on the screen, the adequate posture, the proper posture has us stack up over our spine like we're supposed to be. Our head is neutral over our shoulders, but what happens in our world of working on computers, reaching forward, whether it's computers or driving, working with tools, lifting kids, eating, whatever it is, we're in a forward or flexion dominant posture most of the time. And for every inch forward the head drifts or is displaced, it doubles the weight of the head. So understand that this is something that progressive. It happens over time. And it brings me to the point of most times when people come in here to start care, it's not because they were fine one day and they fell out of a tree and they hurt themselves and that's why they're here. That happens every now and again. But most of the time it's, I don't know what happened. I woke up and now I can't turn my head to the right. Or I bent down to untie my boot after a day of heavy work and I couldn't get back up. So it's the accumulation over time of changes and shifts in our posture that create wear and tear on the joints of the spine and affect our overall support structure. So it's progressive. It happens over time, bit by bit, drip by drip, and leads to all sorts of issues and problems down the road. So we take an x-ray or we send you out for x-rays, we take a look and we see the evidence of the joint wear and tear. So there are several effects of poor posture. One major one, as we round the shoulders and put our head forward, is try to take a deep breath. You just can't do it enough. And what ends up happening, you can reduce air intake by up to 30%, which means you're reducing the oxygen carrying capacity of the blood by up to 30%. So taking in less oxygen means there's less oxygen transfer to the blood cells that are ending up, so less blood, less oxygen getting into the tissues, and it leads to problems and issues down the road. Other repercussions of poor posture are our gait patterns. Gait meaning how we walk, right? If the joints of the lower back and pelvis get stuck or locked up, puts more stress on the hips, and then the downstream effects into the knees, ankles, feet, one side or the other, or both. And the rounding of the shoulders puts undue stress in the front of the shoulder and creates issues that we see when we try to reach into the back seat of the car and grab something or open a door. All the different effects that affect our joints and other tissues of the body. So, why then do I start with this? Because if we just get you all pumped up to join CrossFit or to run a marathon and give you a zillion cool exercises to do, and you don't take the appropriate steps to ensure that you have a strong structural foundation to build on, well, then you're just setting yourself up for injury or problems down the road. And then it just doesn't make what you're doing for exercise any fun. So we don't want to risk further injury. We don't want to damage the support structure. And the other component is this is what's going to happen. Right? I know at least a couple of you that are on this talk that if I just gave you a whole list of exercises, you're going to end up like that guy. Right, Dean? I know I'm kind of preaching to the choir here because most of you are clients, but it always bears repeating, it bears reinforcing. So I spoke last time, and I hope you can see this okay on your screen, but I spoke last time of our hunter-gatherer ancestors and how our hunter-gatherer ancestors did not carbo load the night before they went on a big hunt or a big forage. Well, the reality is our hunter-gatherer ancestors also were not in sitting in chairs for hours at a time, and they certainly weren't on their phones or on a TV. So the point here is that our genes, much like at the beginning of time, our genes were programmed to eat a certain way. What I talked about ketosis, our genes are programmed for movement. We already have it in here, right? So it's already inside you to move. We are pre-wired and pre-programmed to benefit from jumping, running, sprinting, rolling, crawling, right? Movement as much as possible. You know, when life happens, that's not our genetics that are creating those repercussions. It's our lifestyle. So this is super, super important. Now, where do we start? I've always loved this. I've looked at little kids and my own kids at how they do things when they're basically 3 or under. Sadly, after 3, we start to get into bad habits already. But we should be able to squat down and our body supports us in this posture. And I love this photo because it really does illustrate everything. And no one told this little guy to sit like this, right? He just bent down to pick up that jar or a spider or whatever he's got in his hands there, and he's absolutely doing everything the way he should. Now, if you look at an Olympic weightlifter doing a deep squat, that Olympic weightlifter is in the exact same position, head neutral, strong spine that's locked out in extension, torso is upright and squatting right down over his heels. So, but that weightlifter had to train and train and train to be able to do this. If we start off from this age and do this the right way, well, this is how we end up. So it's funny that it doesn't happen, but it can and it should, and that's where we're after here. So We're going to move on here to spinal hygiene, and I apologize in advance. I hope none of you are eating while you're watching this. But the point of bringing up this photo is this. We can all agree that, brushing and flossing your teeth would do nothing to fix this row of disgusting teeth, right? So the same goes with our spine. There's no type of spinal exercise that can correct misalignments and poor mechanics of the spine. But much like once the teeth are fixed, brushing and flossing are essential to maintaining and supporting the strength and integrity of the teeth and the jaw. So too are spinal exercises, corrective and maintenance exercises at maintaining a healthy and functional spine once those misalignments have been corrected and are in the maintenance phase. So it's so important that we work on correction and then we do things to maintain it. So let's get off of that. So there are so many tools that we use that we have in the office here to help us with this. And I hope you can see some of these. Many of them are on the screen there. One of my favorites is the big long foam roll. And the great benefit of spinal hygiene exercises is they don't take long. They don't make you sweat or lose your breath. You can do them at home. You can do them at work. One of the catches with it is it makes it easy to forget to do them. You don't have to get changed, even though all the people on the screen here are wearing workout gear, but you can do them in a shirt and tie sitting in your office chair, many of these. So they become easy to forget, but they form the foundation for the health and integrity of your spinal structure, your underlying structural foundation. So, and they got to become a routine part of your day. So, yikes! I want you to know that when we talk about the core, your core isn't just those few inches of abs, right? That's not our core. Our core is just like an apple. It's all the way around and it extends from the pelvic floor all the way up to the base of the skull. That's the core and it all needs to be worked. So, so here we go. And this is a good one to write down some of these. There's endless numbers of them. Kegels, for those of you that don't know what Kegels are, they are pelvic floor strengthening exercises originally developed and given to women after they gave birth, after they had a baby, to help to tighten up the pelvic floor muscles again. Well, the reality is we all have pelvic floor muscles. And the other reality is that because we sit most of the time, we all have weak pelvic floor muscles. So Kegels are a simple, quick, and easy way of tightening up and strengthening our core from the pelvic floor up. You can do aim for 1 per second. So do 60 Kegels while you're sitting at your desk. Sitting on an airplane, when I'm on a flight for 3 hours or longer, you can't really get up and do cartwheels, but you can sit in your chair and do Kegels, or you can squeeze your shoulder blades together. You can bring your head back. Different things that just engage your spine, right? All these little core strengthening stability exercises. Planks and side planks, pretty much know what those are. Do a plank for a minute, right? Your elbows are shaking, your ankles are shaking. You know you're working your entire core when you're doing planks. And side planks, the same thing. Sit-ups, right? Obviously, crunches are good, but they limit that range of motion. Sit-ups use more of your body, so if you can do sit-ups a little bit better, they work more muscle groups. Supermans, this is where you're laying on your tummy, your arms are straight out in front of you, and you raise your upper torso up off the ground as much as you can, and your legs, thighs, and your pelvis, if you can, as much as you can, lift those both sides of your body up and either hold it for a 10, 20, 30 count, or hold it for a second, bring it down and do repetitions. Whatever, do whatever you want. I didn't put it, but Aquamans are a version of Supermans, but you're swimming, kicking your arms and legs, just throwing a little variation there for the Aquaman fans. Other ones that we show people how to do, and we have them on our website, and we often send these out, are wall angels, where you're standing with your heels, butt, shoulders, and head flat up against a wall. Try to keep everything against the wall. Then you bring your arms up to 90 degrees and try to glue those arms back against the wall. You're wiping the wall with the backs of your hands and arms, touching your thumbs at the top, and then coming back down to 90. Just nice, slow, controlled movements. If you feel like most people will, seems easy, but you'll feel one arm pops off or the other arm pops off, or you can't reach overhead, you know you're doing the right thing. You just need to work it. Just need to slowly work into that. YTWLs, simply positions of the arms overhead. So there's a Y position, there's the T, here's the W, and the L is with your elbows glued into your rib cage. So in all four of those positions, you are driving back with your shoulder blades, trying to pinch a $20 bill between your shoulder blades. You're engaging the different muscles of your shoulder blades, those muscles that are losing the battle all day long when we reach forward. So super, super good, easy, just need a wall to do these exercises. Let's see, mobility stuff, that's in the green here. So mobility work is so, so important because we want, when we're sitting, right, the fluid in our joints just seeps out. So we want to maintain the fluid integrity, mobility of the joints, keep things lubricated and movable. So leg swings, I do leg swings before I play hockey, before I ski, before I do any workout. You're simply standing, you're supporting yourself, and you're going to swing one leg at a time like a pendulum. Keep your upper body upright, straight up, don't bend and back and forth. And you're not trying to kick field goals. You're just swinging the leg, bringing blood to the muscles in the joints, letting the weight of your leg open up that joint socket in there. Do 10 on one leg, do 10 on the other leg. Do it once, do it twice, do it every couple hours. Do it before you're going to go and pound those joints on a workout. Try it out. Arm swings, similar, right? Arm swings, either arm circles or the swimmer's swings, right? Same type of thing. You're not forcing anything. You're just letting momentum do the work, like a pendulum. Using a lacrosse ball or the different ones that we have are really good at lean up against a wall or go on the floor, get it into the tight muscles there and just work those muscles, get some mobility into there, free up those muscle restrictions that are in there. And the final category here, these are passive exercises. So what I mean by passive is that all of the other ones I gave you are active, meaning you are actively doing exercises. You're actively doing something to the muscles, joints of your body. These ones here are passive. So for example, the foam roll, you are laying with this along your spine, so your head is supported and your tailbone is supported, and you are simply flopping your arms out to the side and letting gravity do the work. Okay, so you're not doing anything. I fall asleep on mine. 15 minutes, lay on that thing before you go to bed, stretches the chest muscles, which is where you'll feel it, but it relaxes those upper and mid back muscles. That is so important to giving them a break after a day's overreaching. The apex roll, this one we prescribe to you if it's indicated, but same thing, you're laying over this roll to restore, to recreate the lost curve that we should have in our neck. So it's starting just a couple minutes at a time, retraining those muscles to go into the proper position that they should be in. yoga. Yoga, quite honestly, could be in any one of these categories, right? But as I have it here, and the way they do it at HotShop Yoga, where I go, is it's a yin yoga or restorative yoga, where you're holding a particular posture or position for between 5 and 15 minutes. It's where I get my best naps. I do. I fall asleep every time I go to restorative yoga, but you are letting gravity do the work, and you're slowly creating creep and stretch into those tight muscles. So these are all such excellent ways. And again, like I said earlier, they're foundational, right? So a baseball player has batting practice. A golfer hits buckets of balls on the driving range, and the boxer hits a speed bag. Why do they do these? Because they hit home runs for a living, so they're working on the fundamental movement patterns that they need to do. That when they step into their game, that's where they are. Well, our world is different. This is our world. We're on a computer. So we need to retrain proper movement patterns to mitigate the effects of the things that we end up doing that maybe aren't so great for us. So consider that as a thought process. Again, that why am I doing this stuff? Oh, that's why. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to show are some of the out of the box concepts, right? So maybe you don't have those tools, or maybe you don't have the resources. Maybe you're tired of doing these same old things. So, or maybe you're just super busy. New moms, I know you don't just have no time, you've got negative time, right? So maybe you get a Bosu ball, right, which is a half of a fit ball, or you get the full fit ball, and you're sitting on there or on one of the sit discs here that create some instability. You're sitting there, so when you're feeding baby, perhaps you're sitting on a ball or a Bosu ball or a sit disc. So you're at least working those little fine-tuning pelvic postural stabilizer muscles while you're feeding your baby. While you're making dinner, standing on one leg, things like that. So these are all ideas that you can incorporate. Again, make your home, your world, your playground. So here we go. Now it's the fun stuff. So to me, this is what I love. It makes exercise fun despite the state of the world. As I mentioned, it's connected me to my relatives in Norway. It's created great conversation with my family over Zoom. It's given me, I work out with my boys. My three boys, they're not playing hockey or soccer or basketball. So I've taken the money that it costs for those sports, $300,000 a year or whatever it is, and I applied that to a ski pass. So we all have a season's pass. So we've been skiing 12 or 14 times together. We drive up together, we ski together, we drive home together. It's been amazing. Our backyard is amazing, right? We've got so much stuff there to explore. And I did have to miss a ski trip. I can't go to my CrossFit gym, but you know what? I bought an exercise bike, and I'm on Zwift, so a smart trainer. We created in our house, we created a workout room. So now we have the weights, the bench, all the stuff in there, a punching bag, everything. The boys love it. I love it. I've also learned from others. I like I said last time, I don't have a lot of original material, just experiences that I get from copying and mimicking and learning from others. One of the companies, as you see on the screen there, is GMB. GMB.io. If you Google them, here's a couple of guys who have created an amazing program of exercises based on movement skills ranging from teaching you how to do a somersault to being able to walk on your hands. Like, they just know how to do stuff. All their videos are them in jeans showing how to do stuff. they're incredible. And in fact, on Instagram the other day, they were showing one of their tutorials, free by the way, free tutorial on how to go from your back and, jump up onto your feet, which I can't do. I used to be able to. Most kids can do it. Gymnasts do it all the time, but I can't anymore. But they're showing you a tutorial on how to do it. And it's now on my bucket list. So GMB has created, their platform is amazing. So much free stuff. You get on their email list, they'll email you things and tips, and they've given us permission to post their stuff or to reprogram their stuff to you, giving them the credit, of course, but it allows you to see what they do and what they offer. There's no weights, it's all body weight, and it's all movement based, kind of like you should as from being a kid. Mark's Daily Apple, again, he's a mentor of mine, Mark Sisson. I introduced him last week when we talked about him and the keto reset diet, went into detail about ketosis, what ketosis is. If you haven't seen that, I encourage you to go and listen to that talk because it really touches on the fundamental ancestral way of our body functioning. Anyway, along the same lines, Mark has really created again many different resources for exercise and working out, and he created a program called micro workouts, so very easy to incorporate, just like GMB. So I want to pose a question, and obviously I can't get answers right now, but what's better for you if you have to sit all day long, say for 8 hours or more in a day? What do you think is better for you? Doing a 30 to 60-minute workout or run in the middle of the day, or maybe before or at the end of the day, is that better, or what about or is it better to do a minute of something every hour throughout the day? For me, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer. I think there just isn't a right answer. But for those that can't take 30 to 60 minutes in the middle of the day, or if they're too rushed in the morning, or if they're exhausted at the end of the day, then these micro workouts are incredible. And so basically what it is say after your first hour of work, you have an alarm goes off, ding, and you do a minute of sit-ups. Just do as many sit-ups as you can in a minute, and then hop back to work. There you go. The next minute, you do a wall sit, right? Sit up against a wall, pretend there's a chair there, but there's not. Do that for a minute. Okay, when the minute is up, back to work you go. And the next minute, you do a plank, or like this list shows, there's endless things. Do a deep squat hold, sit down, hold that squat, deep squat, burpees, lunges, push-ups, do something for a minute. If you can't do anything, hold your breath for a minute. See how long you can hold it for, right? So there's an endless list of things that you can do, and what it does, the benefits of these are endless. Here we go. It allows for full recovery, right? By doing workout for a minute, even though maxing out number of push-ups in a minute, you'll be sore. You have a whole hour to recover, right? So the benefit of full recovery, or the benefit of working out just for a minute, is you get that full recovery. You're not working for long or hard enough to generate enough body heat so that you're sweating. So it's as easy to do at work, even if you're in a shirt and tie. You're avoiding injury because you're not overexerting, you're not exhausting your system, and you're not going to get burned out by working out for a minute. Kind of like being in ketosis, you don't really drop into that insulin resistant state. So that comes with prolonged activity. So even if you're workout in the middle of the day, if you're going 3 or 4 hours of just sitting, you're kind of dropping into that low metabolic zone, right? So because because you're working out ideally every hour, you're constantly ramping up your metabolism. You're stoking the fire on a more regular basis, a more consistent basis. So in that sense, I don't know that 1 hour of work negates 8 to 10 of sitting. So that's why I make a case for the micro workouts. And it essentially gets you the same net effect as doing a full hour workout if you can split it up regularly throughout the day. So, other options we talk about, because this is something Dr. Mark and I get all the time, is can we write a prescription or can we give advice on a sit stand desk? So, if we sit for work, you have to sit for work, but are there things you can do? You can put a sit disc on your chair to create that little instability. If you have the option to do a sit stand desk, well, then you can stand up for part of the day, sit for part of the day. But again, going back to Mark Sisson, he introduced the concept of sitting on the floor. I just never thought of it. So I watched him on a video. He built a little desk that's just a couple feet off the floor with his laptop on there, and he's sitting down. Sit with your legs straight out. Sit crisscross. Sit in a hurdler lunge, hurdler stretch, or on one side or the other side, and mix it up. So I'm trying this. I've been doing this for just a couple of weeks now. I have to move like every 2 or 3 minutes. I just can't stay in one position, squat or kneel or crisscross or whatever. So, but it gives another option to sitting. Give it a shot. You are stretching the muscles and the fascia of your body, and that's always good for you. So do I do this? I always want to answer that. Yes, I do micro workouts. I still do my long workouts, my hour bike rides, or if I go cross country skiing, 1 to 3 hours of skiing. But I also do the micro workouts. And, you know, do I do them every hour? No, I don't. Sometimes we just can't. But I recommend you set a timer anyway. Just have that little beep to go off and go, oh yeah, I got to do that. I can't right now. Another hour, ding. It's just going to be there to remind you. Don't let it be a negative. Just keep it as an accountability reminder. And keep track. Don't get caught up in the data, but keep track of it and say, wow, I did 3 today. Just 3 minutes, but I did a minute of push-ups, a minute of wall sits, and a minute of planks. Right? So just keep track and compare from day to day. It's going to make a huge, huge difference. So if you work from home or you're a new mom and you have negative time, you have to be more creative. So like I said, let the world be your playground. So things like when you have to go upstairs, go up 2 at a time, bound up those stairs, and then just walk about, right? If you're going to go shopping, if you're going to go walk 5 miles at Costco anyway, park at the far end of it and walk around till you get in there, right? Add that to your day. It counts. All those steps count. Lunges down the hallway. So I got a great little story of this. I did one of these wellness talks at an accounting firm downtown Calgary a number of years ago. And I gave all these ideas to them, just different out of the box. When they're at work, they're accountants, they're sitting in chairs on computers. And I go, you have to make that walk down that hallway to the copier anyway. You may as well 1 or 2 of those times do lunges instead of walking. So of course the main head accountant boss guy, great guy, he's at the far end with the windows and all that stuff, but he has to walk all the way to give instructions or to make copies. And so he does this and he does lunges all the way down. Well, he passes all the other offices doing this. And so he came in for his care a number of weeks later and he says, yep, every time I walk down, every time I do lunges down, I recruit another person in the office. Now the whole office is doing lunges down the hallways. And it just still brings a smile to my face. I love it. Those are the things that really make this, that make what we have to do fun. So super, super cool. More ideas. So here's the deal. If you ever find yourself looking and watching what other people do and it triggers that question or that comment in you, if you find yourself saying, I want to try that, or I've always wanted to do that, then do it. Just do it. Find a way to do it. Roll down your window and say, how do you do that? Or, look it up on the internet and give it a try. There are so many things available to us right now. Golf courses in Calgary are open, many of them during the winter, for cross-country skiing. You don't have to go to West Bragg where I go. You can go to just 10 minutes down the road to the local golf course. They're everywhere. E-bikes, I'm a cyclist. I like to use my body power. I like to challenge myself going up hills, but I also understand that not everybody loves that and not everybody can do that. With the invention now of e-bikes or electric bikes, the electric assist, you're still able to pedal as much as you want, but you have that electronic assist that can help you with that. It's not only allows non-cyclists to see the wonderful world of cycling, but it gives people who do bike a little bit the ability to go farther, longer, and see more of the world via bike, which I encourage everybody to do. It's amazing. Paddleboarding, that's another one, right? Standing on a board in the middle of the lake, just plugging along as fast or slow as you want to go. It's just another amazing way of seeing the world. The first time you do it, you're going to fall 3 times. But after that, you'll fall once and then you'll never fall again. Okay? So these are just some ways to say, I want to try that. And again, when I was a kid, I don't know, late 70s, early 80s, my sister and I were on the couch watching TV, watching Wide World of Sports, if any of you remember that show, on a Saturday, and they showed this thing called the Iron Man. And I looked at that and I just thought, oh my goodness, they just swam 2.3 miles in the ocean. Then they hopped on their bike for, oh gosh, 180K, and then they ran a marathon. I just was blown away. And I said, I'm going to do that one day. So as I got older, I joined triathlon club and I did triathlons, and I just more and more got into it. And I had all this goal of doing Ironman one day. So for Ironman Canada and many of the Ironmans, you have to be there the year before, because the day after the race finishes, they open registration for the following year and it fills up that day. So I went to watch it. And I never watched one live before. I just watch them on TV. So you see the winners, you see the hardcores, you see the people that have poured their life into training for it. Well, I was watching it live, watching people come off out of the swim and onto the bike. And I was amazed at what I saw. So I saw people come out, and I'm looking at these people, and here's a guy who looks like he's 120 years old. Oh, and then here comes a woman who's, 280 pounds. And here comes a guy with one arm. And here's a guy, who's blind and he's being helped along by someone else. And it just struck me, like it humbled me. I've been practicing for this for 20 years, getting myself ramped up. And I see that it's not just for the hardcores, it's for anybody and everybody who wants to put their mind to something, train their bodies, and do something. There was another guy who did quite well in the swim, hops on his bike. Instead of it being an aero bike, he hops on a bike with a big basket on the front. It's a cruiser bike with a basket, and this basket is full of candy. And he takes off on the course, throwing candy out to the crowd. He got more cheers than the winner of the entire race. It just brought it all to reality for me, and it's like that created my real passion for living this lifestyle, not just drilling it to become really good or fast. So these people humbled me, but that's what I want to say about, I want to try that. If you want to do it, do it. Just do it. Okay. So resources. Oh my goodness, there are so many around here. I mentioned HotShop. That's in Silverado. It's where I go. 30-minute hit. 30-minute hit is it's a women's kickboxing studio. My sister owns one in Vernon, BC, and she tells me that they have over 50 workouts online. So you don't have to go to the gym to do it. They're a resource. Click on and they'll walk you through a 30-minute workout. It'll just crush you. Um, Blue Devil, the golf course just down the hill from us, right? They go hit a bucket of balls, do their little par 3 course, do the full 18. They're just right down the street. Zwift, I mentioned, that's the online cycling platform that I hook my smart trainer up to, where I'm riding a virtual course in Innsbruck, Austria, or in California, and I'm able to ride with my buddy in North Calgary and my buddy in Vancouver, and we can talk to each other while we're doing this bike ride together. It's remarkable. Stand-up paddleboarding, I told you about that. Hop on a board right in Lake Chaparral here, and you'll love it. Here's one, and this is one I learned from one of our practice members here. When the gyms do reopen, they're all going to offer 30 days free or whatever, 2 weeks or 30 days free. What I suggest, try them all. Spend 2 weeks at 9 rounds, and then do the full month at Orange Theory, and then go and do spin class, go to yoga. And so you're going to benefit from all of them, but maybe one of them is going to click the most, and you'll decide to do more of a full-on membership there. Do it. We get to try the best of all worlds, right? Our backyard, we have Fish Creek just down the hill. We have Lake Chaparral just steps away from here. We've got Kananaskis Country, right? K Country, Westbrae Creek, Banff. Oh my goodness, we have so much right around here, so much to do. It's endless. Go alone, go with a walking buddy, be with friends and family. It's been the best thing. Every Saturday, today included for some reason. Buddies that I've been friends with since high school, so 30, 35 years, some of them. We get together on Saturdays and we play shinny on Lake Chaparral here. We spend more time laughing than we do playing, but it's just one of those memories I'll have forever. I love that. I love it. Yeah. You know, my mom, she's part of a hiking group that she goes on every Tuesday. They go out middle of nowhere, the most beautiful scenery. My dad sets a 1 kilometer cross country track on their property, little acreage. So they have a 1 kilometer track, right? So just utilize what we have in our own backyard. Go check out the ice falls that are going on down in Fish Creek. In the summertime, float the Bow River, drop in way up in whatever the southwest up there, and come all the way down here to Chaparral if possible, right? It's amazing. I could go on and on and on, and I hope you're getting jazzed because this is fun. So rules. Number 1 rule: there are no rules. There's just no rules, right? There's no rules to this. You have to have an open mind. If you have rules, it creates confinement. But let's say there's guidelines. So if you can, do something every day. If that's what micro workouts are for. If you did something for 1 minute, one day, like the checkbox is, right? Have a checkbox. Did I work out today? Yes or no? I held my breath for a minute. That counts, right? In the grand scheme of things, it counts. Everything that you do for your health, you're moving yourself a step forward. So don't think you have to be like Dr. Mark and ride for 6 hours a day. I don't know how the guy does it, but I think he sleeps for an hour a night. But he is able to do that. But that doesn't mean it's that or nothing. So it's honestly, it's the days you don't want to do anything that you need it the most. That's kind of an annoying quote, I know, right? Because that's just the last thing you want to hear when you don't want to do anything. Today's a couch day. Okay, you're allowed those days, but if you could do something for a minute during that couch time, check yes. There you go. So before you tell yourself you don't want to go, change into your workout gear. Your chances of doing a workout when you're dressed in something to work out in go up that much higher. So always helps. Keep a log of what you do, but don't get hung up on the data, right? The simple checkbox, yes, I worked out. That's all you need to do. If you have things like Strava, like Garmin, like ski tracks, they keep track of all the metrics. I love that stuff. It just shows me my elevation, my speed, my this, my that. But you don't need it, okay? Don't get hung up on that data. It's good enough to say yes or no. On the days you absolutely can't do anything, then what I could do, what I call active recovery. Spend 5, 10, 15 minutes laying on the foam roll, right? Do something passive, hold a stretch, do something that just, again, on the apex roll, something that works your body rather than do absolutely zero, and make it fun. Again, it's essential, so you got to make it fun. And this guy is pretty cool. I'll just show the very beginning.
Anybody that tells me they're too old to exercise, I would say make an appointment at the crematorium.
Okay, I'm going to move on. Basically, this guy's 96, and he's got the world record for the fastest 100 meters for someone over 95, which, by the way, is 23 seconds. So that's pretty good for 100 meters. The guy's the guy's a champ. And with this, whoops, my main objectives today were to motivate you to want to start something or step up your exercise game, be more consistent, to stimulate you to think about some things outside the box, and then hopefully infuse some new ideas. I'm 51, so I figure I'm halfway through this life. So I get to start over and do this whole thing again. And that's literally what I'm doing. I'm starting with some GMB, learning how to do forward and back rolls, and balancing on stuff. I get vertigo. I feel like I'm made of wood, but I'm enjoying learning this movement, learning how to do a cartwheel again. I think I could do one when I was 8, but I'm learning how to do a cartwheel. And I'm loving it, playing shinny on the lake with my buddies, like when we were kids, has been amazing and awesome. Again, being like a kid, I go for hikes, bikes, and skis with my kids, not to drill it for a workout, but to explore. I have this grand idea of going down and doing a 40K bike ride through Fish Creek with my boys, but we get 3K in and they look at the caves that are along the side and they want to go run and jump in and play around. Let's do it. Like, that's what we do. So I go on trips where I can be active. I pick destinations where I can do stuff. And I have a longboard, skateboard. I look like such an idiot on that thing, but I love it. It's just, there's some freedom about being a kid again. And I thoroughly enjoy it. So I have created my 3 fitness goals for this summer. My winter was all about cross-country skiing, and I've achieved those. But the things I want to do are on the screen here. Number 1, I want to learn I can do a handstand, but I want to learn how to hang out there for 30 seconds. That's one of my goals. Another one is to walk and balance on a slack line. A slack line is a 2-inch thick strap that you anchor from tree to tree that's loose, it's slack. And there are people that can do spins and 360s on it. They can do flips on it. I can't even stand on it. So if I know it can be done, I want to just be able to stand on it. And then my neighbor kid, my son's friend, lives across the street. He goes back and forth along our street on his mountain bike, doing a wheelie. And I've always wanted to do a wheelie. So this summer, Matthew is going to teach me how to do a wheelie. So maybe you'll all witness the bruises of that. But I'm going to continue to stand up paddleboard. That's what SUP is, stand up paddleboard. Early morning, late at night, I'm on Lake Chaparral, and I'm just It's when the water's calm, the sun's coming up or going down. It's nice and calm. I'm just paddling around the lake. I'm looking for hockey pucks on the ground that fall through when the snow melts. I'm going to ride my bike into Fish Creek along the Bow River pathway 3-4 times a week. And every week or two, I'm going to go ride the Banff to Lake Louise on the Highway 1A when they close it to car traffic. It's my zen time. I just love it. I'm going to hack myself around the golf course once every couple of weeks this summer. And I'm going to swim. I love swimming, whether it's jumping off the dock with the boys or going to the Y and doing laps. I might even throw on the wetsuit this year and try to keep up with Dr. Mark around Chaparral. We'll see. But what about you? I want to know about you. We want to hear from you. What are your goals? What's on your to-do list? Dr. Mark talked about your BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal. What's something that you just want to reach out and do and be able to do? Obviously mine, with my top 3 goals there, my BHAG is to be featured on America's Funniest Videos, and we'll see if that happens. But what's your goal? What about you? What do you want to be? Where do you want to be? And then I got to show this because it's super cool. Nike.
Baby Daniel is just waking up. He's gonna win a state championship one day. This guy, he'll run a marathon.
Whoa.
You, man.
Me?
She is gonna have the best swing in the state.
Who, me?
Yep, that's right. She will totally win the City Open tournament.
Get out.
Oh my God, you get out. All of these athletes are terrible now, but they'll all do big things one day. But this is where everyone reaches their athletic peak. Go, Barry!
Get up! I'm winning!
Be cool, Barry. Be cool. 1 year ago, I said she would score every time she had the ball. And guess what?
Now I score every time I get the ball.
I know. When everyone pushes their limits, they reach their maximum potential and they live happily ever after.
I'm not done. Hey!
No, you're done.
Hey.
That's a wrap. Oh, come on! That was my tagline! Hey, story's over. What are you doing? Oh, whoa! He is going to kill you! And your mother's gonna kill me!
I'm gonna kill you.
So sorry, man. What are you doing?
Said I could do amazing things.
Well, I didn't mean jump off a friggin' cliff!
I've never lost.
Kid, you can't outsprint a sprinter. You can't either! Zach, what are you doing on top of that van? Aaron, what are you guys doing?
Watch this.
Oh, what? I can't take it. Neymar, whoa! That is humiliating on so many levels. Ooh. Giancarlo! Serena, what kind of training is that?
Excuse me?
So sorry. Nigel, that is so unnecessary. Whoa, Tim, you can't be the star of every sport.
Yes, he can.
Come on!
Let's do this.
No, let's not do this. Run! Everybody is going way too far. Hello? Why is no one listening to me? You two, Mo, stop. The race is over, man. Oh, kid, no, kid, please don't do this.
I got this.
This is out of control.
How awesome is that, right? Oh my goodness. Okay, so I hope that sums up what I've been talking about, because that's what I wanted. I just wanted to explode out of the box and give endless lists and ideas and concepts. If it's little, if it's huge, if your goals are huge, if you just need to get through the day, just do it. Just go for it. I want this to be a springboard to something else, something bigger. We want to hear about it. What are your goals? What do you want? What do you need help with? Let us help you. So with that, we're running a little bit long here, but here we go. I'm going to end this on the draw prize. So some lucky listener is going to win my stinky headband. Congratulations. We're going to have other prizes as well that we're going to draw for. So good luck to all of you. Have an awesome Saturday. I'm going to hit the lake with my buddies playing some shinny with our sticks, skates, and life jackets because I don't think the ice is very good. Hopefully, we'll see some of you out there or out and about somewhere. Have a great weekend. Love and appreciate y'all. As always, we are here to help. See ya.